Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Tiny Brains podcast. I'm Kevin Joyce, CEO at Tiny Brains, and with me, as always, is Peter Graham, the Brigadier of Brains at Tiny Brains.
Good afternoon, all.
What we do on this podcast every week is we run through the biggest stories in XR from the previous week. And if you want to be featured on this, if you have a story you want us to talk about, or if you'd like to appear as a guest of some kind, please feel free to reach out at any of the millions of different channels that you can reach us on. I am always talking to people about anything and everything XR, so why don't you be one of them? But we're going to kick off this week with hardware news, as we always do, and we're going to start, as we often have on this podcast, with the Apple Vision Pro. Now, this is a interesting one. I'd like to hear what you have to say on this, Pete.
Yes, well, the rumors have been going last week that Apple Vision Pro, or namely Apple, are going to halt production at the end of the year. This is namely because they have been reported that they've got enough inventory to reach demand, whatever their projected demand is. So they're just going to halt production at the end of the year. And we assume that this is maybe because they've got a cheaper version in the works as well.
See, whenever these talks of hardware halting production come out, it's always seen as like the death knell for that piece of hardware. But I really don't feel that's the case. I think, as you rightly said, they've got what they need. It's not selling as quickly as expected, so they're going to stop production a bit earlier than expected. But I don't think it means the end of the Vision Pro. I think it means the end of this generation of the Vision Pro. But I think Apple are in this for the long haul. I don't think they're going to do a Google and just drop and run as soon as things don't go quite as they expected.
Well, also last week, there was a comment from Tim Cook about Apple Vision Pro, and he said that yes, this was never a mass market device anyway, so they weren't expecting to sell, thousands upon thousands. There is a research company called Counterpoint Research, which has estimated that Apple sold around 370,000 units, and they estimate that it's going to sell around 420,000 by the end of the year. But again, Apple aren't releasing figures, so take these with a pinch of salt.
I mean, that's still a big whack in my mind. It's not Apple numbers, not iPhone or iPod or iPad or iMac or whatever numbers, but it's $3,500 and it is to a niche audience. So it's a niche of a niche of a niche. So closing on 500,000, not bad. Well done, Apple. Let's see your lighter version come out, 1,500. I won't get a new iPhone this year. I'll get that instead. But
Are you thinking 1,500, are you? Or are you hoping for
uh,
1,500?
I've been hearing the rumors. Yeah, 1,500. Is that not what you've been hearing?
I've been hearing 2K for it,
Mm.
which is a drop, but it's not a significant drop to get.
1,500 would be lovely because then that makes it comparable to a new iPhone.
Hmm.
So fingers crossed. 1,500. Come on, Apple, you can do it. Okay, so moving on, we have the Vive Holodeck Forensic Investigations.
Yes, well, there has been lots of gaming news out and about last week, and this was something that I found that seemed to have slipped under the radar of a lot of outlets. Was the fact that HTC Vive have partnered with the Bavarian State Criminal Police Office to create the Vive Holodeck, which, as you say, is for forensic investigations. So they will, as they like to use the term holodeck from Star Trek, this will allow users like their police force, to create photorealistic simulations of crime scenes, which then they can go over meticulously over and over again without disturbing the original crime scene. So it's kind of a cool bit of technology using VR. It's not something new. Companies like Nvidia have used the term holodeck before, so but it's the sort of methodology that they're going down.
So I'm keen to learn more about this. Are they using photogrammetry or are they modeling the environments or
They
what's
haven't
the sort?
said, the press
Yeah.
release that they released hasn't said, but it will allow users to create photorealistic simulations. So I would assume they will be able to use photogrammetry, LiDAR to create a real, because it will need to be as detailed as possible if you're using this for a crime scene investigation. So I would assume that it's going to be that type of technology without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, that's what it seems to me. The way they describe it seems like they're going to model everything, which means it's going to take, weeks after the crime is committed to do it, and then it's not going to be lifelike, right? So photogrammetry would seem like the obvious answer. But, we'll wait to see. I'm sure more news will come about this at some point down the line. But it's a curious one, so
Hmm.
keep your eyes on it.
And because it's Vive, they're going to be using the Focus 3s and they're going to be using eye tracking. And just as a little tidbit of extra information, it's going to be a 70 square meter room split into two sections. So you're going to have one section which is going to be the viewers, one section which is going to be like active participants, users going into the scene. So it sounds like it's going to be like a big arena based setup for crime scenes. So
Sounds pretty cool.
yes.
The future, guys. The future's coming. Um, Next up, we got some sad news. Sad news. So, Minecraft VR launched a long time ago. Back on the Gear VR, I first played Minecraft in VR.
Oh,
Yeah,
I forgot it was on
and
the Gear VR.
yeah, and as of next year, it will no longer be.
No, yeah, Mojang confirmed that. Well, earlier this year they confirmed that the PSVR support was going to be dropped in September, and it has done. And now they've confirmed that PCVR support is getting dropped in March 2025. So that means no more VR support for the core Minecraft experience. So you can still play, you can log in, play your normal account, just won't be any in VR because it won't get the updates anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, this is sad, right? Obviously, Minecraft didn't get the traction in VR that we were all hoping for. Um, And I can understand why not continuing to support it seems like the right thing to do, because if their audience for VR is very small and they want to make significant updates, and it's another one, two, three, four, five versions of the game that they have to continue to update alongside all the 50 other versions of the game they've got. But still, for those of us in VR, it is quite sad.
Yeah. It's always sad when something a game of this size drops support because it's still wildly popular. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it?
So moving on, it's been a busy week, Pete. I am shattered.
Oh, a dad joke in there. Yes, there's a new game coming out in December called Shattered, as Kev so eloquently put, from Playside Studios. And this is going to be a mixed reality escape room game with a tinge of horror to it as well. And it looks really cool. So, yes, your living room is going to come alive on MetaQuest 3, 3S, and you're going to solve puzzles and stuff is going to come out the walls at you. Oh, it's a psychological thriller as well. So again, be prepared to hide behind your sofa as digital stuff like jumps out at you.
My sofa's up against the wall. That's not gonna work well. Okay, so we're going to wrap up this week with some news from us here at Tiny Brain. So, full disclosure, this is one of our clients, but the new update for Strike Rush Season 2, Unknown Villain, is now available. Strike Rush is a game that was made by Sconic Entertainment and launched earlier this year, and this new update is a huge systematic overhaul for the game. There's new gameplay modes, new maps, new playable characters, blitzers, new Blitzmon, which are the cute little pets that run around with you shooting stuff. And a full UI overhaul as well. And it is available now for free as part of the download with Strike Rush. So all of you, get in there, get playing, and shoot Pete in the face.
If you can hit me, I'm quite speedy. Only in Strike Rush. I'm not speedy in real life.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let us know if you're playing Strike Rush, and let us know if you want us to talk about what you're doing in XR. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all next week.